Here too. Y'all here? Are y'all in the audience? We're gonna talk. Let me give you a minute to come in here. Come on in the room. Hi, Princess A. I don't know what trick you have going there, Princess A. You're always the first one. I gotta figure that one out. Hi, Connie Bernard. How you doing? I'm gonna come on here and talk for a minute about something going on YouTube. Shakira and Erica J. Curl baby. Oh, you're flying in here now. Okay. Hi, y'all. Jen, the Capricorn. Pay to Park. Pay to Park. All right. Pay to Park. Hi, sweet ass pie. How's everybody? Listen. The universe is strange. Yesterday, for some odd reason, I finally decided to sign on to the Zeus network. Some of y'all know how I feel about reality TV. I don't cover it. I'm not interested in it. But people kept talking up this thing on Zeus called the Bad Boys Club, right? So I finally go on there, and I, for the first time, become familiar with this guy, Carrion Franklin, right? I came on here after just watching the first episode, and then I went back and watched the other 3 episodes. So now I'm caught up on all 4 episodes. The last episode focused on Carrion. Now I got to say, people, I have an observation about that last show that I saw. This dude, this guy who I consider the bully of the crowd, although he says he's not the bully of the crowd and he just want to show his, speak his mind or whatever the hell he wants to do. Whatever, who's the straight dude? He is constantly obsessed with his sexuality. Nobody cares about your sexuality, dude. Why are you even on that show? Why did you choose even? I mean, there are other TV shows you can go on, except for a house full of gays. You have to constantly express how you ain't comfortable with it. You sound so country. But the thing is, he is insisting on bringing this dude out. Carrion Franklin has to admit his sexuality. He has to come out the closet, and you're going to make him do it live online. Is there any privacy at all? Anyway, one thing I found strange about that, because after this dude and sucker punched him, I mean, he's a big old brute of a dude, I guess. And Carrion just a little bitty guy. But he sucker punched him. Had this is a celebrity's child on here bleeding at their mouth, punched him all in the mouth and all that. But I don't know how real, reality TV, you always got to look at it with a grain of salt, right? Because after they had this altercation and this fight and the other guy pushed him and all this kind of stuff, then the 3 of them are together. Y'all know that guy's name? The straight one. Mueller, the one Mueller and his sidekick. Actually, I think the sidekick is the most likable person to me, but he's with Mueller. So Mueller and his sidekick are there. Carrion Franklin walks into the room, right? Now, the whole time they're having this three-way conversation, Kirk Franklin, after this dude's already jumped on him, tried to punch it, he's already a homophobe, even though he didn't consider himself a homophobe. He's a person who is very uncomfortable around homosexuality, right? So why is Carrion Franklin, I'm sorry, Kurt. Why is Carrion Franklin then calling them basically homosexuals? After all this dude is going through to prove he's not a homosexual, even though he came to this show with all homosexuals, he has to make that his point. We don't know if they give him a storyline or what, but Carrion Franklin is basically accusing them of being homosexuals. He said everything, but who's on top? Put it like that. So reality TV is always suspect. I don't know if he'd be coming at him like that if you already know this dude is hypersensitive about his masculinity and the fact that he's not a homosexual. Well, why would you go right there, right in his face, this close to his face, calling him a homosexual and accusing you and that other dude, your sidekick, of getting down together. He all but said it straight out. Anyway, enough about television. This isn't got nothing to do with television. But I think it's odd that on the very day I decided to finally look at that trash, he's in the news. He's in the news damn near as soon as the show go off. I finished the show. I came on. I said, maybe I talked for 15 minutes. And then Larry Reed is talking about the boys in jail and is somehow implicated in a murder. So I have some thoughts on this. Hi, y'all. Thank you, Terja. Terja Von Trail. Oh, look at the little motorized, your little motorized wheel. No, it's a computer chair. He's cute. Carrion Franklin, let me tell you something. Or somebody who maybe can get the message to you. Close your mouth. Right? Now he is implicated in this crime because, well, I guess the thing in Texas is no big deal. Apparently, from what they said, that he doesn't even have to appear for the warrant. It was a financial thing. His grandparents have paid off whatever their financial situation was there in Texas, and now he does not have to go back to Texas, which will uncomplicate things only slightly because I think the bail there was only like $1,500, so it was no big deal going on in Texas. But he had a warrant. You know, if you get a jaywalking ticket, you don't pay it, and it goes, then you got a warrant in that state, whatever it is, right? So that ain't the primary thing. The primary thing is this man is stopped in Beverly Hills. I can give testimony. They will stop you in Beverly Hills if you are black, period. I was 19 years old, just driving through looking at the movie stars' houses, honey. And then people had to wonder, wait a minute, hold the hell on. They stop at any young black person coming through that neighborhood, period. The strangest thing ever happened to me in jail, though, was the cop, when they had me in the jail cell, because they found something, oh, that's a stolen property or something I didn't have a receipt for in the car. And the dude let me talk to my mother in the cell. Maybe he identified how young I was. I wasn't there to commit any crimes. Anyway, it's not unusual to be stopped in Beverly Hills. But this dude has got so many stories. So today he's on Larry Reed Live. I don't know if it was recorded last night or today. He is having so many contradictions already. First of all, why were you stopped? The original story was he stopped because he had a broken tail light, right? But then Carrion says that the cars came 9 deep. Now, even if they are profiling, why would they call 9 police cars on a broken tailpipe or broken tail light? What are they describing as resisting arrest? I mean, you would have to resist pretty heavy in order for them to get 9 cars on the spot just that quickly, right? He's driving his car. Now, they're saying that the car belonged to a woman who had been killed. She was missing at first, and she was murdered, right? He's driving the car. Now, the story goes on. He says that he knew the woman he had the car for over a year, right? This is one statement he makes. The original statement was he was borrowing the car, and the woman gave him her car before she was killed, right? That would imply that she had to know him pretty well in order for her to give him her car. Okay, that's not where it gets hairy at. And then a couple of minutes later, he says, when I bought the car from the lady. Now, how are you going to get confused if you bought it from her? I mean, you gave her money and stuff for it. You had a paper sign over, or she gave it to you before she died, right? And how long was this car on the road? You said you bought it from her over a year ago. The story changed too many times, Carrion Franklin. So here's what I'm going to say to you. When you make a call from a jail, you'll hear a beeping in the receiver. First, they will tell the person, this person is calling from a whatever city jail, LA County jail, and being recorded. Do you accept the charges? You got to accept the charges for the call. So you know that they're calling from jail, right? So those scams can be run. When you use any of their phones, they hear a beep in there. That means people are listening in to your phone calls, right? And that also means that they own all of that is recorded on those phones. That's why they record them. If they couldn't use them, they wouldn't record them, right? They can catch any crime you set up. They can catch any criminal organization you run from the outside. They can get a lot of information, and they will use those recordings in your trial or in court, right? So why, Carrion, I have to ask you, are you on here with the I don't want to say anything negative about Larry, but you on here talking to Larry Reed. You have contradiction after contradiction after contradiction. You will not answer why you were stopped. It seemed like a pretty simple answer to me. And there were several other questions where you have contradicted or avoided the question altogether. That will all be used against you, Carrion Franklin. Right? So I don't know what your situation is, but the first thing they need to do is hire you an attorney who will basically tell you to shut your goddamn mouth. That's it. Be quiet. Don't say nothing else. You're only incriminating yourself. Now, you apparently this boy has done drugs. He's been involved with drug people. I guess a friend of his, this guy who spilled his tea last year ended up dead. So from overdose, you don't hang around people. If you're a heavy drug dealer, a drug user, all you know are other heavy drug dealers, right? So drug addicts. So I don't know what the situation is there. You know, how do you say all this shit? Anyway, that man ended up dead after he exposed you in situation with you and your father. Here it is, Carrion. If you can't keep your story straight, whether you just met the woman, you've known the woman for over a year, you knew the woman well enough for her to just give you her car before she's murdered, you can't keep it straight if you just purchased the car. We don't know why they will be able to run a plate that's been on a car, a hot car from a missing woman for over a year, and you would still be driving it around Los Angeles, right? We can't, because you're going to say, oh, they stopped me for a tail light, and then they saw that the plate was associated with, no. They would have ran the plate while he's still in the car, right? So there's too many gaps in your story, too many contradictions in your story, and you're just talking to a blogger on YouTube, right? Everything that comes out of your mouth can be used against you. So you need an attorney, a paid attorney. I guess that's the only way you're going to accept it from, to call you. Maybe Kirk Franklin can just say, I'll do one more thing. I'll pay a lawyer to call him and say, listen, shut your damn mouth. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing at all, right? You can't even figure out your own sexuality on some damn reality show, yet you go on the reality show, people make fun of you, man. So I'm not trying to make you a villain, the Carrion Franklin, and I'm sure your story will slowly unfold in the next few days, greatly depending on what happens on Tuesday. On Tuesday, they say go to court, but actually it's an arraignment. On Tuesday, they will determine whether he can bail out or go on his own recognizances, or what he's going to be charged with in his arraignment tomorrow, right? Keep my chain of thought here. So they're going to determine how serious this charge is, if he's actually going to be implicated. If you are riding around in a dead woman's car, and I pray God that woman was not killed with that gun that's in the car, whatever the circumstances are, it'll be determined if they keep you and they won't let you out, then there's a good chance that you are more involved than you're saying. So what you need to do is be quiet. Hi, people. Carrion was dealing with some mental health. Yeah, of course, he's dealing with some serious mental health issues. But they don't give a damn. Honey, if you kill somebody, whatever. If you're involved in crimes, they still charge you with the crimes, right? I saw a scene where his mother, I think his mother and aunt were trying to get him to go into a mental health facility. That could be because he has ongoing mental health issues. He's able to communicate well enough to be on a reality show, or was he just high? If he was getting high and acting crazy and acting stupid, maybe the only answer they had was, "Do you need to go to a facility?" He wouldn't go. We had a big old scene on in social media. I didn't choose to follow this story. I kind of felt like, well, here's a guy struggling with his mental health. They are making a big deal out of it because of whose son it is. This is all going to embarrass Kirk Franklin, of course. If it were my child, I'd get them out of jail before I decided to stop speaking to them, right? So this is only going to get it worse. Carrion Franklin does not have the ability to stop talking. Now, he may consider Larry Reed his friend. He felt like he can go in and tell him everything, but we wouldn't even know anything about this if you had not exposed all this to him yesterday, right? So now you get the whole country talking about this situation. People who are being concerned with it. They all know this story now. Why? You said it, and you're contradicting your story in one day, right? We need to know who the woman is. She's the victim here, right? She's killed. Anyway, how y'all doing today? Hi, Nikki Ballou with the eye patch Ballou. Nikki with the eye patch Ballou. Have y'all been following this stuff? I think it's funny that I would just start watching it the same damn time. While I'm watching it, this dude is arrested. Was I being drawn to the story? You know, they say everything is so spiritual. They used to talk about a thing called ESP back in the day. People could sense things, right? I got drawn in there, baby. So he's still in jail. We could only go by what Larry's saying. He's the one that has direct contact with them. He's saying that the situation in Texas has been resolved. Usually with a warrant, you got to make an appearance. But if it can be resolved by a financial way, that might make it easier for him, because he would have to be taken back to Texas for this warrant, which sounds pretty petty. And then after Texas gets through with him, he has to come back to face these charges that he's facing in Los Angeles, right? So we don't know how all that's been worked out. Larry says that him, John P. Key, and someone else, we're going to make sure he gets out of jail tomorrow. He'll have some kind of bail unless he's directly accused, unless they're accusing him of murder. Maybe that's not so likely. That John P. Key, that's a good guy, though. He came to our church here, and he sang in our, he's from the Bay Area. When he came to our church here, he just, in the middle of his concert, started giving musicians and people he knew from years ago thousands of dollars. He had his checkbook on, just giving them money. So yes, he is that type of person that he would take an interest like that. I don't know where this sets these people and Kirk Franklin, though, because this is my child and you guys are interfering in my family affairs. But although if you're going to ignore him and you want nothing to do with him, then why would somebody trying to reach out? I don't know. We'll find out more in the next few days. Maybe they'll send him for a psych evaluation. One thing is good. He obviously he's going to be clean because he's in jail. He'll have a clear head and he can stop running his mouth and contradicting himself all over the place. Not that I'm trying to get anybody to be acquitted of a crime or accused of a crime they didn't commit or anything like that. The thing is, you're not capable. If you're contradicting yourself in one day, you made 4 contradictions on the exact same story, and you can't even give a definitive answer. Why they stop you? You say you're homeless, but then you say you got all these cars. Well, how in the hell you got all these cars if you're homeless? You're going to store these cars in LA and go back. This all sounds like tweet talk to me. You don't need a whole bunch of cars. You need somewhere to live. But I don't know all the details of this thing. I think that this television series thing, because of course, initially we're going to say, oh, it's going to become part of the storylines and all that. No, I believe that thing is already done. all the episodes. When Larry, we questioned him about last night's episode, he didn't even remember what the hell he's talking about. Right? Because it's probably been done a year ago. Anyway, this troubled man, Carrion Franklin. Let's hope this dude is not actually involved in any serious crimes. Now, when you're in the dope world, it ain't that hard to get caught up. One time, I had some youngster, he had just attempted to rob me, right? And it just so happened that there was a person in my room the next day or day after that, and he happened to be trying to sell a gun. Right? Now, this dude that just came to my door trying to rob me. I was able to fend that off, but at the same time, I was hypersensitive that I needed to have something in there to protect myself, right? So I just put it in the back of the closet, forgot all about it, I had a gun in there, right? Then I get busted a week later. First thing they show up is the ATF because there's a gun in the room, right? Anybody who's just selling any kind of weight and drug world, it's almost required that you have something to protect yourself. Anyway, this dude tells me, if this gun has been used in a crime, you taking the charge. I was terrified. I had no idea where that thing came from. As it turns out, this thing was, I had never touched a gun in my life, but it was it was brand new. So it never been used before. Fortunately, because if they didn't show me somebody else's hot gun, girl, I would have took the charge. So let's hope you don't have that kind of situation on you, Carrion Franklin. You're driving around in the car for a year and you don't know it's a gun in it. I mean, how big is a car? It's not. You need an attorney to tell you to shut up. Don't say nothing. I didn't know. I did know. I went over to buy a car. Oh, I had it for a year. How you gonna not go under the seat in a year's time, Sal? Right? And why they got to respond with 8 cars? They had to know something about that vehicle, right? They didn't check the VIN number underneath the damn thing that quickly. So at this point, all we can do is just conjecture. You know, maybe he started getting loud and crazy, and then the people call for backup. We don't know. I don't know. You should be live from the jail cell talking online to bloggers. I just don't think it's going to be a good thing for you, Carrion Franklin. And you better believe, I don't care how much you whisper, everything they record, they can use. And also be aware that if you get this damn cellie tonight, they might have him protective custody now because he's crazy. If you get a cellie in that cell, don't say anything to him about your case, because there's a very good chance that is a snitch. He's been placed there to get you to talk. And since you like talking so much, I can't watch Larry Reid anymore. To me, he's a lot like Jay Williamson. Oh, shit. That's a terrible thing to say about a person, Elaine. Yes, that man is in the pickle. But we know that's going to drive the Zeus ratings up. They love controversy, right? How y'all doing tonight? They had me up late last night. Oh, yeah, last night I was up talking about this damn case. And while I was talking about it, he gets arrested. Or at least that's when Larry Reid posted the thing. Now, he's had a relationship with him before when this thing came out. And there were all kind of accusations being made about Kirk Franklin. And then apparently the person who leaked all his information, he winds up dead. So it could be very ugly and very nasty. I don't want to speculate on any, because I don't know anything. We don't know anything, shall we? Taking it a little piecemeal. All I can identify is this boy is just running his mouth too much about open cases. Maybe nobody's told him that he needs to stop talking, stop running his mouth. Believe me, if they've started to really interrogate him, if you can't keep a story together to a vlogger on YouTube, There's no way you can stand up against them police who are professionals and get information. There's no way they can put you in court and start calling witnesses. And I guess you would go up on the stand and just start running your mouth. You're gonna incriminate yourself, man, and you're gonna find yourself in a worse situation than you're in already. That's why you hire lawyers. Now, even if your daddy don't like you, they still should pay for a lawyer, in my opinion. Even if it can't stand you, I'm gonna kill you next time I see you and all that bullshit. Still should take care of that. It's gonna reflect on him as well. I had to stop watching him too. No, I like Larry Reid. He just he kind of heavy with the commercials, but I guess it's just business. Uh-huh. He's getting the story. I don't know why any of this stuff has to be posted online, frankly. You know, usually they try to bury stories like that. All you have to do is stop talking. People telling on themselves without the police having to do the work, do no work. You're right, Cole. That's just what you're doing. I had this handsome young man was in my cell in LA County Jail. He was handsome too, and he liked me. I had no idea that he was a murderer. He was in there. He had just been in overnight, right? But they came to my cell at 2:00 in the morning. Bling, roll it up. You're being moved. You talk too loud. I said, excuse me? I've been in the cell for a couple of months. I've been talking loud every night. What the hell is the issue? Of course, you can't argue with them. They're the ones that. So they took me out. What I didn't realize was the next day I saw them in line for trial, and they had put this old man in his cell. The old man was a known snitch. I had seen him free working out on the lawn in Hollywood, my own damn self. They had put a police informant in the room who this kid who had just committed murder, taking me out of the cell in order to put him in the cell. They got all kind of trickeration, baby. That's the first thing your lawyer gonna tell you. Stop talking. Certainly don't be talking to people and broadcasting it all over the internet. You think they ain't gonna use that, child? Well, here you said this, and here you said that, and here you said this, and this. We're all talking about a 24-hour period. I don't know how somebody drive around Los Angeles for a year with hot plates, right? I don't know how somebody can drive around in LA for a year with a gun in the car. So much not buried in the car, right, where the cops can just do a quick look over and find the gun, right? The story was that the woman just gave you her car, and then they murdered her. I guess she was giving out cars before she got murdered. Do you know the people? Where'd you get the car from? All that's gonna come out, and he's kind of weak in the knees. He's not gonna be able to stand up to any kind of real interrogation. So he needs to get him a lawyer. Right. Maybe he wants his dad attention. I'm sure he does. Going on a national television to announce the world to the Christian people that you are bisexual, that's gonna get under him, right? Although I don't know that Kirk Franklin has ever shown that he's any kind of homophobe or anything. He's usually been pretty generous with his mouth. So we're not gonna blame Kirk Franklin. We'll say that their family has fallen apart, but we don't know if that boy got a hormone imbalance in his brain or anything. We don't know. Can't speak on somebody else's family. It's terrible when they're so public, right? Oh, let me see. What else y'all talking about? It'll be interesting to watch. Thanks for posting, Elaine. Hmm. Murder in the beef sector. Okay. I had to stop watching him. Okay, can he throw he's holier than thou. Larry has a little bit of a past as well. I mean, I think he's a caring guy, but I do think that he hungers for a story as well. There was a time when Larry Reed said that I will not post a story until it is already in the media. I'm not going to have any breaking stories, right? But as it turns out that this is the one person who calls him at his home or wherever he's at, kind of makes it kind of personal, right? In other words, he had a kind of access that no one else has. So he broke the story. Now, I assume that Carrion Franklin realized that he was live online. He was live on the air when he was saying all this crazy stuff. And some of the questions were just direct questions. Why were you stopped? And he went round and round and round. And I said, well, goddamn. I thought it was a tail light. What happened to that story? Oh, well. I don't know to what extent, since I didn't follow the original story, I don't know to what extent he's an addict or he uses drugs or anything like that. Of course, that messes everything up. People ain't thinking clearly. They're not in the right mind. They don't remember what the fuck they said yesterday. I don't know. It's just a horrible situation. Just pray for this kid. Hopefully he don't hurt himself or anything like that. Or he's not gotten himself caught up in something really, really serious. L Love, would you stop? Miss L Love said, I'm glad they tell on themselves. Get the killers off the street. Girl, not everybody's a killer, though, L Love. Not everybody's a killer. Yes, people make mistakes, honey. I guess the question would be, what was his relationship with this woman? He said a woman had a boyfriend. That was thrown in. So it wasn't an interpersonal relationship. It's just somebody you just met on the street, and then she just gave you her car. Yeah, you know the Franklin family's going through, but you know you got troubled children. You got troubled children, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad parent, right? I mean, you think everybody that gets caught up on drugs and stuff, they all have dysfunctional households and all that. That's not necessarily so. You're in the club, you do a little toot of this, a little toot of that, then all of a sudden you tooting, honey. Rudy tooting, and then you're hooked. Hooked is hooked. It don't make no difference how you got there, child. They had senators and governors and everybody else. Children have had issues. We know Hollywood kids have always had a difficult time trying to walk in their parents' shoes and all this stuff. It's not unusual. We don't know. But it looks like, Kirk Franklin, you're not going to avoid the spotlight. You're back in the spotlight again because of this child. But they were talking so rough to each other that I don't know. I don't know if that can be repaired or not. But you can still take care of the basics even without getting involved. I can still ignore you, but I ain't going to see you up there in jail running your mouth. I care about you that much. What to make of this situation? Is it still changing? Let me check and see. Sometimes these things be breaking. Yesterday, I was just talking about the damn Zeus network, and the boy got arrested while I was talking. Let me see. Let me see. Of course, Conscious TV is talking about it, and Larry's talking about this. Conscious is live now. Those are the main ones. I mean, Larry had direct access to the story, so it's not unusual that he would be. And let's hope that maybe they'll be able to bail him out. They can bail him out as long as he's not charged with murder. They can bail him out. Right? Anyway. People caught up in drugs that they never killed anyone. They hurt themselves mostly. L Love said, Tim, I am not talking. I am I am talking about the killers. I know well, the real killers ain't gonna tell on themselves, honey. They're professionals. Everybody's not a killer. I've known people caught up in drugs and they've never killed anyone. They hurt themselves mostly. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. You get caught up in all kind of stuff though, just by being there. I just happened to be in the hotel room when some food went crazy and started whatever. Mm-hmm. This thing is so sad. It is. It's just breaking since last night, so we'll find out what's going on with him. If he gets bailed tomorrow, then we'll know that it's not as serious as it first appeared or first seemed. For right now, it seems like it has potential of being extremely serious. Anytime you're caught in a car with someone who's dead and there's a gun in the car, hopefully that gun is not tied to this her situation. But that's in total contrast to him knowing buying this car a year ago. Right? So you've been driving around for a year with the gun in it. You don't even know it's in there. And you do dope. Oh, of course, L Love. There have been killers who have told on themselves they exist. Of course they exist. That's what the whole police department is paid for. To get them to tell on themselves, child. That's what an interrogation is. That's why most of them, as soon as their lawyer, first thing you're gonna tell them to be quiet, don't say nothing. As soon as you ask for a lawyer, they're supposed to let you stop talking and wait till your lawyer arrives. That is the law in most states. They have ways of tricking you though. Oh, the lawyer is caught in traffic. Are you sure you don't want to say something? Just if we can just clear up this one little detail, But that's what the lawyer gonna tell you. All talking will come through me or with me in the room. We know that. I'm just saying we can't jump to the conclusion that we know everything, right? You can also buy a car and don't know what the hell, who sold it to you, why you sold it. You could end up with receiving stolen property. Did you know the car was stolen? What did you pay for the car? $200. Okay, well you bought the car and it's relatively new. And you pay $200. That means you know it's a stolen car, right? So I don't know. The whole thing sounds fishy to me. It all sounds fishy. There's flies in the soup. But that main thing, she sold it to me. She gave it to me. Well, goddamn, how you don't remember? And they're gonna use that. It's not like he can change his mind now and take it back. They're gonna use that very phone call, those very records. They'll play that in court. What you say can be used against you. They got to post it right there on the phone. L Love, you own one. I tell you and block you 5 or 6 times. Thank you, Miss D-Town. I really didn't get that much to say today, really. That seems to be the story. I don't know how involved I want to get in. I don't know if that really helps him very much. I think we'll know a lot more after the arraignment, though. The arraignment takes place tomorrow. Okay. Bad Boy Stars got a real address. Plus, at the same time, you got all these people talking about that situation there on Bad Boys. I see several people still covering that. Should I cover that? I never covered no reality show unless it was the early part of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I think in protest, I probably shouldn't, because if all they're gonna be doing is fighting each other and pulling each other's wigs out and shit, I don't want to see that. I can see how people could get drawn into it though, what's next kind of thing. But that's already done. I saw them on some interview, and they're already back home in their own towns and all that kind of stuff. So whatever the show it was, I don't know if they shot it in a couple of weeks, or they were actually in the house only a week. When they did the show, that whole taping was only 1 day. They say apparently in Orlando, it was a couple of days, 2 to 3 days. That's it. You do the whole thing right then. You chop it up and make yourself a show. All right, lovely darlings. It's time me go eat some. I'm gonna have some nice dinner, and gotta get my. Last night I ran out of hamburger for my dog. Of course, he's number one, and so I was too late to go out and buying stuff in the store. So I opened up Marie Callender's roast beef. No, meatloaf. So I had to throw the dinner away. That's $4, and just to give him the meat. That son of a gun wouldn't even eat the damn meat. You know your child. I know he been spoiled. Angel. That's a spoiled dog. He won't even eat that mystery meat out of Marie Callender. Lord have mercy. I got to serve it to him a certain kind of way. I'm sorry. We ain't mad, L Love. You can be on one if you want to. Y'all be quiet. Girl, because you're on one, that don't mean nothing. I have plenty of nights when I'm on one. They start slanging people around, slanging and banging, honey. I think they're just timing you out, child. Whatever. I ain't tripping on you. The dog is spoiled. He is spoiled. Then my nephew came over here telling me, oh, he ain't supposed to have hamburger. I said, oh, Lord. Can the dog enjoy his hamburger? He ain't supposed to have no hamburger. It's bad for something. Red meat. I said, boy, that's the first time I ever heard that. He switched from chicken. I might have to switch him back to chicken. He has been kind of skimpy about eating. Even if I give him the hamburger, he only eats a half a hamburger, right? But if for the one the next day, the other half, many times you won't eat it. It's got to be a fresh hamburger. Then that's spoiled. That is spoiled, honey. I would not even know what a hamburger was if I had not introduced him to hamburger off my plate. Same with the chicken. So I'm gonna try to start tricking him back into dog food if I can do it. But chicken and beef, they doesn't cost much less than dog food, really. Not the stuff I was buying. We got to try to get him back down to the low end now. Then my first dog, Jimmy, he was much cheaper because I was broke, so I was just giving him the basics. His treats cost $1. This one is $9. Same amount of shit. Okay, L Love, you are not on one. We take it back. You got that Monique spirit. You said I was difficult. Okay, L Love, you're not difficult. You should have left the meat there. Okay, yeah, that's what they tell me. You should have left the meat there. What we know for sure, your dog can't get anything out of the fridge, so your dog can't cook. He will eat eventually. It just pains me that he's not eating though. Oh, it's like I keep trying to fix it, put some gravy on it now. I got about four cartons of gravy in there. I put some of that on. No, I don't want that. Get it together, baby. Get it together. Leave me alone. If you can't fix my dog food, I'll be gone. Get up off the high horse, girl. Think what you're doing. You're right. I got to be stronger, NYC Trailblazer. Just put it in there. Same thing really applies with dog food. Now, he can go easily 2 days without eating. But I bet you on that third day that he'll certainly develop a little dog food. My vet told me that, well, most dogs, they will end up on kibble anyway. And it was true with my Jimmy dog. Eventually, he didn't want no more human food, anything. I guess the system just couldn't take it no more. All he wanted was kibble when he was still eating. Chicken breast with rice. Alternate with dry dog food. He ain't gonna touch no dry dog food though. I've tried that over and over. I got bags of that stuff in there. And I got the little Caesars, which I thought they would love because it's so juicy and all that. I ain't eating that. You act like I'm a dog. That's what you are, dog. Don't be treating me like I'm a dog, cause I ain't like them. A lot of people like spoiling their dogs. I hear them be in the park. They be talking about how their dog only drinks. You got to have bottled water. I said, God, the damn dog. How the hell the dog know if it's bottled water? Girl, that's you. My dog only drinks bottled water at a certain temperature. Maybe that's what happened when you don't have no cheering. We have something inside of us want to take care of somebody and something and make it happy, making smile. And the thing is, you go get that tail to wagging, honey. Can I get a tail wag? Nope, no tail wag to you till you get my meal right. All right, babies, I'm going to go and get myself something to eat. I think I'm going to have Philly cheesesteak. I think I have a hankering for Philly cheesesteak tonight. I know. Don't get a dog no Philly cheesesteak. He'll be hooked on Philly cheesesteak. You're right. That's how the whole mess started, child. No, dog, get down. And you can't be on the bed. And you can't be on the furniture. Some people are so strict. People love their dogs. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. We'll be watching.